Most people think billionaire islands are simply luxury vacation destinations for the rich, but the richest people on Earth rarely buy islands for relaxation alone. They buy them because islands create something wealth increasingly values emotionally: distance from society itself, because modern wealth no longer wants constant visibility and public attention. It wants privacy, control, and separation. And no asset creates separation better than a private island completely, a world surrounded by water and isolation. The strange part is that islands were never originally symbols of luxury. For centuries they were isolated, difficult, and inconvenient places. But over time, technology transformed isolation into one of the most valuable luxuries, and islands became the ultimate status symbol. At level 1, wealthy people begin renting exclusive island resorts privately and temporarily. This is where luxury island culture begins. Private beaches, luxury villas, and personalized service create a different experience, one separated from ordinary tourism. Because the wealthy quickly discover something important psychologically and emotionally. Privacy feels better than attention. At this level, the island remains a temporary escape from society completely, a place to disappear for a few days, but eventually, temporary escape stops feeling emotionally satisfying for the wealthy. They begin wanting ownership instead. At level 2, millionaires start purchasing small private islands around the world. This is where exclusivity becomes permanent. The island becomes more than a vacation destination emotionally and socially. It becomes personal territory. Because ownership creates a level of control hotels can never provide privately. Every view and every visitor becomes controlled, and psychologically, this matters more than most people realize emotionally. Control itself becomes luxury. The owner begins experiencing a world without strangers nearby constantly, something increasingly rare in modern life. At level 3, private islands become luxury compounds designed for elite lifestyles. This is where serious wealth enters the picture. Helipads, private docks, luxury mansions, and security systems begin appearing. The island becomes a complete ecosystem. Because the wealthy eventually stop wanting destinations other people can access, even luxury resorts start feeling ordinary. They want environments designed entirely around their personal preferences privately, a world built for one family, and the island becomes the perfect blank canvas for that transformation, unlimited privacy and customization. At level 4, billionaire islands evolve into self-sufficient luxury worlds completely. This is where the psychology changes dramatically. Solar power systems, water purification, farms, and private infrastructure appear. The island becomes independent, because extreme wealth increasingly fears dependence on outside systems emotionally. Self-sufficiency becomes part of security, and psychologically the owner begins viewing society differently over time privately. Dependence starts feeling like vulnerability, so the island slowly transforms from luxury property into survival infrastructure, a backup world beyond ordinary society. At level 5, security becomes the dominant priority emotionally and strategically. Fear quietly enters billionaire island culture. Private security teams, surveillance systems, and restricted access zones appear. The island becomes heavily protected because visibility creates risk for the ultra-rich emotionally and publicly. The more wealth grows, the more privacy matters. And islands offer something cities can never provide naturally and physically, a defensive perimeter made of ocean. The water itself becomes part of the security system completely. Distance becomes protection. At level 6, islands become hidden headquarters for global wealth networks privately. This is where billionaires stop thinking like individuals. Private meetings, investment discussions, and elite gatherings happen far away. The island becomes a strategic asset because powerful people increasingly value private environments for decision-making emotionally. Privacy creates freedom of discussion, and some of the most important conversations in the world happen quietly, far away from cameras and public attention. The island becomes more than property emotionally and economically. It becomes influence infrastructure. At level 7, private islands stop functioning like real estate entirely. They become private worlds, one-off mega compounds, underground facilities, private airstrips, and hidden networks appear. Everything becomes customized. At this level, companies no longer sell products to billionaires privately. They build realities around them, The owner no longer adapts to the outside world emotionally anymore. The world adapts to the owner. And maybe that is the final level of extreme wealth psychologically. Complete environmental control. The island becomes a physical symbol of separation from ordinary reality itself, a world beyond public life, because eventually luxury stops being about comfort and beauty emotionally. It becomes about control. Control over privacy, access, security, and human interaction completely. Control over everyday experience. And maybe that explains billionaire islands better than anything else psychologically. They are not really about beaches. They are about distance from crowds, noise, unpredictability, and exposure publicly. Distance from ordinary life itself. Most people think billionaire islands became valuable because they are luxurious, but luxury alone never creates obsession. The world already contains countless luxury hotels and resorts globally, yet billionaires continue buying islands, because islands offer something money rarely finds in modern society today: true separation. And modern wealth became increasingly obsessed with that separation emotionally over time, not because it hates society, but because extreme wealth slowly changes how people experience society itself. Privacy becomes priceless, and the private island became the ultimate symbol of that transformation globally, a piece of earth owned by one person. Not because it looked beautiful alone, but because it created distance powerful enough to feel like freedom.